Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Chris Allen here on the Sam channel, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, all sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace on this March the 28th. Weather stick showing blue again today, like yesterday. Should be a fairly nice day. We're seeing just a few clouds and that little bit of a breeze and even some light returns on the radar. This is all part of a little weak system that's working its way through mostly through middle Tennessee and not so much southern Kentucky. We're seeing some returns there, but they're very light. And if anything does actually hit the ground, it would be just a sprinkle. And that's about it. Otherwise, high pressure is still in control of our weather, even as this little disturbance passes through. And today we're expecting more in the way of sunshine with a few clouds here and there. And temperatures will be noticeably cooler because as this disturbance comes through, it pushes in even cooler temperatures, as you'll see here on the 10-day blender. And look at that, 57. Today will be the coolest day out of the next 10 as we go back into a big warming trend over the next several days and weeks. So we go upper 50s today. Yesterday's high was 65, which was almost 10 degrees cooler than the day before when we hit 74. That was on Sunday. Yesterday, 65, and the average 64. So we were just 1 degree above average for the day. Today will be a lot cooler than that because of that little disturbance that's bringing some of the clouds and sprinkles this morning. But as you can see, we recover very quickly. Now, keep in mind, tonight, if you've been watching here, tonight and tomorrow night are the just 2 nights, that we're going to have to deal with frosty temperatures. As you can see, this is showing 33, 34 for tomorrow night into early Thursday morning. So if you've got any plants, anything out there for the spring growing season, it's still early in the season, so there will be no headlines from the Weather Service saying, freeze warning or anything like that. But just know that if you live in a valley area, if you live in one of those areas that under a clear sky, we lose the radiational heating of the day, and then it starts to cool, all that warm air escapes, and you get a frosty setup like tonight in the low 30s. So just to cover those plants up or bring them in. Maybe this is the last time we have to deal with it, but I'm thinking that we could hit maybe 1 or 2 more times before Derby, okay? Because we still have the whole month of April yet to go. But then we recover. We go to 60 tomorrow, mid 60s Thursday, 70 on Friday, and another stormy setup, which I'll talk about in a minute. Then we cool down slightly into the 60s, but right on the average for this time of the year as we get into Saturday and Sunday. And then look at that, 70s, even close to 80 on a couple of days next week. All right, let's get down to the here and now and the temperatures from the Kentucky Mesonet Network this morning here at 5 a.m. Yeah, we've got some 30s going on this morning, even a few spots north of us where the skies have been mainly clear. There's a couple of places that are kind of close to freezing, but most everybody is at mid 30s to upper 30s, and then down in southern Kentucky where we are, everybody's starting out in the 40s because of that blanket of clouds I showed you on radar, and some of the little spritz of rain. It's not that big of a deal. The winds have calmed down as well, so we're off to a not too bad of a start this morning. The clouds will begin to depart, and we're going to see some sun through those clouds today. And with that will be a cool flow to start. But as you can see on the maps here, we're still in the big picture, in the overall picture, we're still looking at this zonal flow from west to east that is going to continue to make its presence known here in the next few days. Here we go with some of this midstream moisture that's working its way through. All of this is just kind of there. It's not really that organized in our part of the country. The bigger story is this low pressure system that is coming off the coast of California, and it's a doozy. It will continue to strengthen as it comes on shore. Not that strong, but it will meet up with some other energy. And as that happens, this thing becomes a bit of a monster over time. Here we see as we go through Thursday, we get into the day tomorrow and into Thursday morning. Yeah, it's still going to be a little bit on the cool side to start. You see that little bit of a dip in the jet stream there, but then you see the bigger trough that's coming in from out west. And so it's going to be a clash of systems here as we get into the middle and end of the week. We get a lot of forcing here in the middle part of the country. And again, some of the same places that have been hit with flooding rains and severe weather to the south of us looks like could be hit again as we get closer to that Thursday, Friday time frame. And here we go as that low deepens a little bit more, sends a big front right across the country. We'll be on the warmer side of that system to start with a lot of wind coming back in. This is going to be another one of those very strong wind-driven storms. Not so much thunder, lightning, but wind. So here we go. Another Friday coming that is going to be a very similar setup to what we've seen, what, 4 going on 5 weeks in a row. It almost seems like every single Friday of late has been these big storm systems that come in with packing a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and even the threat of severe weather, but not the typical severe weather for us. A lot of that goes down south, but we get the brunt of the gusty winds, 40, 50 mile per hour winds. Looks like that's going to be the setup again this coming Friday as that system comes on through and you see it there. Wow. Now that's a punch. And this is like very late Friday night into the first day of April. There's our low pressure system, and look at that, 977 millibars. Remember, it was back here is like 1,000 something. Now look at that, 977. That's even stronger than the low pressure system, what, 4 weeks ago that brought the 75 mile per hour winds. At least it's not coming exactly through here, but I got to show you these lines of equal pressure, these isobars. Look how tight they are. Look at that. One after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, and they do come right through Kentucky. So these winds are going to be howling. So I'm telling you right now, because I leaned back in my chair, I shouldn't have done that. It's like I'm explaining it to you and I forgot the camera's there. But I got to tell you that Friday is going to be one of those days where we don't see the typical severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings. There may be a few of those, or even the typical thunder and lightning, but that is a very deep, wound up, low pressure system, and there's going to be wind and probably wind damage. I'm not saying we're going to get 75 mile per hour winds like we did that Friday weeks ago, but it's going to be a rough day. It's just going to be, especially as we get into Friday night and into early Saturday. But this right here, yeah, it's going to bring some rain, but the wind is going to be the big deal. And I know many of you have already asked me, what's the deal with the wind this year? It's just the way these lows are coming off the coast of California. They pick up some steam. The jet stream gets involved, lower jets, upper jets. It's just it all just packs it in. And when you get in that little tunnel where you've got high pressure, low pressure, and the forcing of those winds, it's like when the winds can be calm around you, but if you get into a tunnel of some kind, the winds just naturally begin to pick up because of the contours of everything, and that's what's happening in the atmosphere. And so we're just continuing to get these just big surges of wind, and it does some damage. And I know some of you, I drove around yesterday, a lot of you are still waiting on roofers to come and take a look. You've got your insurance adjuster's been out, written up something. You've got patch, you got band-aids on your roof. There could be more unfortunate wind coming on Friday into early Saturday that just wreaks havoc once again. After that, we do calm down and things begin to look a little bit better as we get into next Saturday. Sorry, I'm the bearer of bad news, but there you go. Now, the severe weather threat already, the Storm Prediction Center has this area highlighted for 15 to 30% chance of some severe weather. That includes us. So again, this is looking at primarily Friday afternoon, Friday night into early Saturday morning with the passage of that cold front. But number one threat, I think, when they put up the threats, we get closer to Friday, the threats you're going to see, the number one threat is not going to be tornado. It's going to be wind. So, sorry. Not much you can do about it either, because this, as you saw weeks ago and several times after that, everybody gets it. It's not like a tornado that's in a small path. You know, when the tornadoes came through in 2011 or 2021, I should say, um, it was in a narrow path and that got all the damage or most of it. But in these windstorms, everybody gets something. And in a lot of cases, it's a lot worse because then everybody gets backed up, roofers, insurance claims, all of that, clean up. And then another windstorm comes and you got to clean up again. So I know, here we go. Here's today, right now, everything pretty quiet. That little trough trying to squeeze out maybe a sprinkle or two this morning with a few clouds, but it moves on pretty quickly. High pressure takes over here for the day on Wednesday, looking really good. Here we go into Thursday. Cold front drops, but this one I think is just going to be kind of just a boundary that's there. This is Wednesday night. It does kind of fall apart, as you can see here, eaten up by high pressure, the Pac-Man effect, just eating away at the front because it's weaker than this high pressure. But here comes our big storm system that's coming off the coast of California, coming across the Rockies, southern plains, moving our direction. So here we go, Thursday night into Friday morning. And look at that. The coverage is big. Showers, thunderstorms, heavy rain, and look at the winds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can count the lines there as this thing begins to tighten up. So right here, it's at 986. It looks like it's hard to read. 986 millibars. But as it gets up into the Great Lakes, it strengthens even more, and the winds tighten even more. That's 992 there, but well, anyway, you saw it earlier. It's hard to read those. But anyway, there's the cold front coming through Saturday morning. Lots of a little bit of cooler air, but not cold air, but it's just going to be windy. It's going to be like this past Saturday when the sun comes back out and it's just windy all day. Kind of like that, just exactly like that. And then high pressure takes over for this coming Sunday. So in the meantime, it's quiet. We've got some sunshine. Temperatures are going to be cooler today in the upper 50s, some frost tonight and tomorrow night, warm up. Then we get Thursday night into Friday. That's when we're going to see more rain and more potentially gusty winds, plus maybe some severe weather. All right, you guys, I'm headed to the radio station, Sam 100.7, here on your radio this morning. I hope you tune in starting at 6 a.m., going until 10. In the meantime, God bless you. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you on the radio.